What's up, funky YouTube, and welcome to episode 11 of my weekly Funk Date. I'm going to be talking some Monday motivation. This week's bass player of the week is Geddy Lee, and we'll take a look at the bass line of Reach Out by George Duke, what I've been up to, all things bass and funk. Hope you enjoy the episode. If you like it, subscribe below, and let's get funky. I missed a couple weeks with Thanksgiving and being sick, so I have two motivations this week. The first one was Lamar Jackson's t-shirt he had on after one of his NFL games that said, "Nobody cares, work harder." And then the second quote I have is, "Nobody ever wrote down a plan to be broke, fat, lazy, or stupid. Those things are what happen when you don't have a plan." We're starting with the first quote with Lamar Jackson. What he said about his shirt was, "Nobody cares what you're doing, you gotta work harder. If you want to be the best, you got to work hard at being the best. If they're doubting you, work harder." So I love seeing stuff like this, and it all relates to the same motivation I've been saying in all these weekly funk dates, really. That you can achieve anything if you put your mind to it, formulate a plan, and execute that plan. Lamar Jackson is a big example of this, and I love seeing him do this because, he won the Heisman Trophy in college, was still overlooked in his draft class of quarterbacks. There were other quarterbacks picked before him in that draft. But he's proved everybody wrong, working hard and bringing success to the Baltimore Ravens. So he's definitely my pick for winning the MVP this year, which is just real impressive, proving all those teams wrong that passed him up. The second quote is also about something I talk a lot about on here, which is you got to have a plan in order to achieve what you're going for, and you got to execute that plan consistently in order to achieve your goals. If you don't plan how you're going to achieve something, you'll never be motivated to even start working towards those goals because you won't see the process and see where the results could be. So put together a good plan and process. You'll achieve your goals a lot faster, and you can plan your time a lot better too when you know what you're doing. I've actually been working on planning my time a little better because stepson started basketball practice kind of threw a big time commitment in the middle of the week for me, so I've had to plan out when I'm going to be doing my videos, and I've been trying to do that. I've been showing that on my Instagram stories of what I'm going to do today and how I'm trying to execute that. So something we can all work on is planning our time better, but how can you plan your time better if you don't know what you want to do with your time? So formulate a plan, execute it. This week's bassist to listen to is Geddy Lee. He's a musician, bassist, singer-songwriter, lead vocalist, and keyboardist. He's most known for the band Rush, which is a prog rock trio that is really awesome. He's inspired many bassists such as Cliff Burton, Steve Harris, John Young, Les Claypool, and Tim Comerford, which are all great bassists in their own right. He was inducted into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame with Rush in 2013. He played a lot of various basses through his career, and they all had a great tone, and his tone was really known for that mid-rangey rock, overdriven sort of thing that he does. So he played Rickenbackers early on, then went to Steinbergers and wall basses in the 80s, and he's been playing Fender jazz basses for a while now. And he's even got his signature Fender jazz bass, which is a really sweet bass. I was really interested in getting one before I got my 24 fret jazz bass, but I decided I did want those extra frets. Really was the only reason why I didn't get the Geddy Lee. So if you want a jazz bass that has a really nice slim neck and it's easy to play, check out that Geddy Lee. I'm sure they'll have them somewhere near you. And Rush being a trio always kind of blows my mind because it sounds like so many people are playing, and it's got such a heavy sound. And Geddy's vocals are pretty interesting too, with the high pitch sort of voice he has there. So Rush is just a cool sound. I know people that can't really dig it, but I like it a lot. I think it's just really cool music, and I like the way that all of them are great musicians and they're really tight in how they play together. And it is cool that Geddy plays both bass and keyboard on those songs. So some of my favorite Rush songs, Tom Sawyer, YYZ, Working Man, The Spirit of the Radio, Limelight, Closer to the Heart, Distant Early Warning, New World Man, Free Will, The Trees, Fly By Night, Red Barchetta, Subdivisions, and 2112. I will put these all in a Spotify playlist that will be linked below in the description, so make sure to check that out and listen to these songs because you'll learn a lot from the bass lines, because Geddy really does crush the bass. This week's bass line of the week is Reach Out by George Duke. George Duke is an awesome keyboardist and composer. I was lucky enough to see him perform live before he passed away. It was one of the best shows I have ever seen in my life. It was funky, it was good, great musicians, great crowd. I just had a blast at that show. This bass line is another funky slap bass line by Louis Johnson. Covered Louis Johnson in the past. You know, he's great at funk, Thunder Thumbs. So this is just another example of why, you know, he's a great bassist and why he's a big influence on me and why his bass lines have made a big impact on my music. I love this song. Super groovy. It's got great instrumentals. It's got great arrangements with the horns and the strings. It's also poppy too, so it's catchy. It's easy to listen to, and I think that makes it just a really great song. I'd guess that this was played on Louis Johnson's Music Man bass. It's a great bass tone and great playing like always. And as I said, that's why it's a big influence. So this will be on the Spotify playlist too in the description, so check that out. This week's cover video is Dua Lipa, Can't Start Now, and this song is funky. I love this bass line. It's basically an upbeat funk bass line that reminds me a lot of Jamiroquai. This song was a lot of fun to play. I heard this song on the radio, and I needed to play it immediately. I knew I was going to cover it, so I heard this last week, and I decided I had to do it immediately, and do my next cover is this one. Love the bass line. It's a nice, real groove, upbeat, and it kind of walks up to the chords, and it's just really funky, dude. And I love hearing funky stuff like this on pop radio. It really does get me amped. The people are keeping the funk alive, and all real aspects of music and pop music and jam bands and all that other stuff. So the link to the cover is in the description. The original song is on the Spotify playlist. You need to check that out. You need to learn the bass line. Probably play it on a keyboard, but you can play it on bass. I did it. So go check that out too. So I had a couple live performances I released on YouTube over the last couple weeks. So the first one was Bianca's song live performance that was at the Rowdy Dowdy in Atlanta, and I did this on June 18th in 2016. This show was for a book release for a friend of mine, so it was a lot of fun, and the venue was really cool. And you can see that by checking out all the stuff on the walls, and the TV's playing weird stuff, so you can see that in the video. And it was just a cool place to play, and the people there were really nice and really appreciated the music. This song is off the first album, Freshman Orientation. More melodic song than most of the stuff off that album. It's more of a R&B kind of jazzy thing, I think. But then there's the rock section, which is pretty cool and gives it that switch up. This video clip started from the solo of the song, but works out because I end up going through all the parts of the song anyway at the end of the song after the solo. So check it out. Let me know what you think. The link is in the description. The second live performance release I did over the last couple weeks was a song that I did with my friend Lee Taylor, aka Dystopia, called Classy Business. We put together a few tracks where I played bass on them, and this was one of them, and we were able to perform it live at Smithsonian Bar in Atlanta on February 19th, 2016. Shout out to Lee for putting this together because it was a lot of fun project, and I was able to kind of play more funky bass on different genres than I would usually make myself. And it was just a good opportunity to drop some funk bombs on the people, and I had a lot of fun doing it. It has a real Sound Tribe Sector 9 vibe to it, and a lot of people have been liking the video so far. Link is in the description, so make sure to check that out. The video games I've been playing this past couple weeks, when I got sick, I decided to check out the Outer Worlds, so I got that, and I've been crushing that. And it's a lot of fun. It's kind of like Fallout in space. If you like Fallout, you're going to love this game. And I think it's better than Fallout. In my honest opinion, I think the choices and the characters make it a lot better. So I might stream that soon. I might not. I haven't been really streaming that much. So if you want me to stream, let me know. I'll probably get back to it soon. I've just been, as I was saying, trying to play my time better. And video games have taken a backseat to all this other stuff that I'm doing. So I'll probably do it on one weekend where I'm bored and I'm just going to stream and answer any questions you guys have or anything. So this week coming up, I'll do a new cover video. I said this in a past episode, but there's an Ariana Grande song and also a Camila Cabello song that I want to get to because they have sweet bass lines, but the Dua Lipa bass line out-baseline these bass lines, so that's why you got it this past week. I'll also be posting another live performance video at some point this week, probably Tuesday or Wednesday. And as always, leave a comment below. Subscribe if you like the video. And if you want to see a certain bass player or a certain bass line, let me know and I will talk about it in the next episode. Stay funky. Peace. Hey, this is Professor John. If you liked the video, give me a thumbs up below and leave a comment. Also, subscribe to my YouTube channel. If you're interested in some free music of mine, please check out my website, www.professorjohnmusic.com. Also, I'm active on social media, especially on Twitter and Instagram, so if you want to leave me a message there, I'll be sure to get back to you shortly. Alright, thanks, and stay funky.